Good Wednesday morning, and thank you once again for tuning in to Gulf Coast Weather Solutions. We've got some rain going on off towards the southwest, but let's talk about what's going to happen today, the rest of the week, and getting through Memorial Day weekend, especially as all the way into Memorial Day. This is a Wednesday morning show sponsored by HB Neal Construction. It is pretty active towards our southwest on the Tamco Live Doppler radar. Moderate to heavy rainfall really along the coast. I'm shocked we don't see a flash flood warning along Lake Jackson, but we're still seeing some heavy rain from Lake Jackson towards League City and Galveston, some light to moderate rain into the Houston Metroplex area. This will try to move eastward later this morning into the afternoon. We'll talk a little bit more on the areas like Beaumont and Port Arthur and southwest Louisiana in a minute. You can find some snow in parts of Colorado. You've got rain in parts of Tennessee Valley into the southern portions of the Great Lakes, but the most of the rain is along the Texas border, or the Texas coastline, and you can really see that on the satellite and radar sponsored by Tamco Hail Guard beyond Class 4. Lots of rain along the Texas coastline. You can see it was pretty active yesterday evening, especially in our region and pushing into southwest Louisiana. But right now, currently this morning, the heaviest is from Victoria, Lake Jackson, into Galveston. Heaviest is moving offshore, but we're still going to see this light to moderate rain move along the I-10 corridor, getting into Beaumont and Port Arthur. Mainly the heaviest will likely be in southwest Louisiana later this afternoon once we kind of warm up a little bit. Let me come back into the picture. Here we are with the current temperatures a little bit cooler than we were yesterday morning. That's because the rain-cooled air has kind of somewhat cooled us off. We had several areas into the upper 70s. Today, we were kind of ranging because of the rain-cooled air really into the mid-60s to upper 60s. Thanks for sponsor of Switch Electric. But further to the north, like Amarillo, look at them at 46 degrees. And again, Colorado has snow this morning, so we're chilly towards the north, still somewhat kind of warm down here towards the south. And hey, it's May. We're going to be warm the rest of the time period all the way until September. So we understand that. Here's our current temperatures across our region. You can see that we are pretty much, again, into the middle to upper 60s down towards the coast. That's where the warm, humid spots definitely are, into the 70s. Thanks again to our sponsor of Neutron Electrical Services. How much rain did we get yesterday evening? Well, you could see some areas. I mean, it's been a big, good chunk. 1, 2, 3 inches of rain. Beaumont, this is kind of off a little bit. We did see sections of Beaumont, even Hampshire Fannett, getting up to an inch to 2 inches of rain. So several areas getting 1 to 2 inches of rain. Some of the heaviest, again, has been this morning towards Lake Jackson, 3, 4, 5 inches of rain. I'm telling you, if you want more rain, it's definitely in the forecast, and we're going to continue to keep talking about that. Here's our Wednesday forecast sponsored by Modern Concrete Material. This is not going to be anything like what we saw yesterday evening. The heaviest right now is in Lake Jackson to Galveston, and this is going to shift towards southwest Louisiana later this afternoon. But if we're talking about Houston, Beaumont, and Port Arthur, I think what we're going to see really mainly more than anything is this light to moderate rain later this morning into the early afternoon, and this all will then start shoving into towards southwest Louisiana. So today is not a complete washout. We're just going to be dealing with some light to moderate rain possibly, and then we're really going to start seeing more rounds of locally heavy rainfall mainly on Thursday, Friday, and we'll talk about it more this weekend. But let's put in the Futurecast for today, sponsored by Do Good Credit Union. There's that cluster of rain you see towards Houston, heaviest towards Lake Jackson and Galveston. Again, this has to move towards the I-10 corridor, along the I-10 corridor later this morning. We're somewhat kind of cooler. We had all the rain last night. Our environment is somewhat overworked or overdone, I guess you would say. We will see how warm we try to really kind of bounce back and recover, but I think the best is going to be just east of our region, mainly from Lake Charles and just east of Lake Charles. That's where we'll see some pretty good potential for some locally heavy rainfall this afternoon into the evening time hours. From Houston, Beaumont, Port Arthur, just light to moderate rain is possible today. Lake Charles and eastward, moderate to heavy rainfall definitely is likely later this afternoon into the evening time. Kind of die down this evening, and then as we get into Thursday, we likely will be doing this all over again with the potential for some locally heavy rainfall. So let's dive into the rest of what we're going to be dealing with. Again, there's our 5 to 7 days. You see that rain is definitely in the forecast. Thursday all the way into Memorial weekend, still have rain on Memorial Day and still have rain on Tuesday morning. So if you want more rain, you definitely got it in the forecast. Here's Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening. Another big round of locally heavy rainfall is definitely still possible. If you want more, hey, we do it again on Friday. Another round moves into the region. One thing that we're kind of seeing is this is not all-day rain. It's just rounds of rain moving in that we see kind of off and on the next 5 to 7 days. Another round comes in on Saturday morning into early Saturday afternoon. then another round on Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon. Sunday could be what I would imagine could be our longest duration and likely possibly our heaviest duration for some pretty moderate to heavy rain. And then here we are on Memorial Day on Monday, another round in Memorial Day morning time into the early afternoon hours, and then we can still have another round late Monday night into Tuesday morning. So lots of rain still on the way. How much rain or exactly are we talking? Well, I think that there's a good chance. I'm talking a very good chance that widespread 3 to 4 inches, if not up to 5 inches, definitely seems likely today through Sunday. Again, we still have more rain throughout the day on Sunday, more rain on Monday and Tuesday. So I would imagine these rainfall totals will continue to kind of get a little higher in some spots. So widespread 3 to 5 inches still is on the way. Could see some isolated areas getting even higher than that when it's all said and done. So still lots of rain, unfortunately, is on the way. Unless you really do want the rain, hey, I guess you'll be happy about it. This afternoon, we're going to stay mainly into the low to mid 80s thanks to the cloud cover and some of the light to moderate rain we will see. A little bit better coverage over there towards Lake Charles and southwest Louisiana and Jennings to Crowley, Lafayette, all these areas. We'll watch for the chance for some locally heavy rainfall this morning. It's Lake Jackson to Galveston. Then it shifts towards the southwest Louisiana region later on this afternoon, thanks to our sponsor of Silsby Ford. Get you on. Overnight tonight, it's going to be warm, muggy. Don't think rain's going to be an issue. That icon, emoji, whatever we want to call it, that's somewhat kind of wrong. But we're mainly going to be into the 70s all across the board. And then our 5 to 7 day forecast for southeast Texas, it is unsettled. It is wet. It's not rain all day, every single day, all hours. It's just we're going to see rounds of rain off and on the next 5 to 7 days. If we're talking about the longest duration, that's possibly going to be Saturday, especially on Sunday. And then we'll see how all of this kind of pans out. But again, another widespread 3, 4, 5 inches of rain is definitely on the way with some isolated areas possibly getting even higher amounts. Same thing for southwest Louisiana. I think the best chance for some locally heavy rainfall today is going to be later this morning into the afternoon hours. Another round on Thursday, Friday, again this weekend into Memorial Day Monday, and it's still lingering around on Tuesday morning. Lots of rain is still on the way. Another 3 to 5 inches widespread is still possible with some isolated areas getting higher amounts. And to wrap it up, again, heaviest rain right now this morning is Lake Jackson to Galveston. That's going to move eastward, getting into southwest Louisiana later this afternoon. Areas like Beaumont down towards Port Arthur, light to moderate rain is possible later this morning into the early afternoon. Main thing we'll be seeing is the temperatures into the low to mid 80s. Rain's going to be moving along the I-10 corridor, getting into southwest Louisiana later this afternoon or later this morning into the afternoon. Again, rain in the forecast next 5 to 7 days. Good time to go download the free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. It notifies you when rain's moving in, rain's moving out, updates you on all the rainfall totals that we're expecting now through really Monday. So thanks again for tuning in to the Wednesday morning show. We're going to have lots of updates throughout the day today, and especially the rest of the week through the weekend. Our next 7-day forecast will be updated later this afternoon with Lucas Boswick, who also will have our next evening video later this evening. So thanks again for tuning in to the Wednesday morning show. Stay dry, not only today, but the rest of the week and through the weekend. Have a good Wednesday. I'll see y'all again tomorrow morning.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions is sponsored by.
At Gulf Coast Weather Solutions, we focus on delivering reliable weather forecasts. Our new app provides reliable weather updates and alerts no matter where you are. With real-time weather alerts and warnings, you can stay informed and prepared wherever you go. Download the Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app today on the App Store and Google Play and stay connected no matter where you are.